Obviously, it's a good win. Although we had the lead at halftime, I wasn't pleased with our effort and our intensity defensively. The numbers didn't reflect it, but the effort level was better in the second half. I thought we did a good job keeping them off the offensive glass, and I thought that was a key to the game because, we were 28 for 65, and that turned out to be 13 more field goal attempts than they had over the course of the game. And that differential with us getting 14 offensive rebounds to their 3 made a difference. We took care of the ball for the most part with 7 turnovers. And then we finally made some shots. We didn't catch fire, but we looked a little bit more like we've played in the past offensively. So that's encouraging. But we just can't fall in love with that and allow that to take away from the defensive intensity that we've established. And I thought that happened in the first half, and then we responded fairly well in the second half. It was a good win.
Thanks, Coach. At this time, we'll take questions from members of the media. As a friendly reminder, if you can keep yourself on mute until asking your question, we would appreciate it. Go ahead with questions for Coach.
Coach, was the defense the thing that sparked you guys, or that spurt where you really just kind of put the game away early in the half?
I think so. Again, we were limiting them to 1 shot, and then we had a stretch where we made some shots. It looked like moments from in the past with this group when you could expect us to make our fair share of shots, and we did that to go along with that defensive stretch that you're referring to. So, and we rebounded the ball well. So. That was certainly made a difference in the game.
It's Mark Sophie, Sports Inquirer. Just about your seniors stepping up, all of your guards, including Kane Williams and Corey Allen. What about their aggression on offense, especially Kane getting to the free throw line for double-digit free throw attempts? So what about their aggression and being assertive on the offensive end?
Yeah, I think that was great. And I think in particular, we associate Corey with scoring. Corey's been playing so hard defensively, and some of the passes that he's making right now are really indicative of how he's growing as a player. I mean, he really has been phenomenal at sharing the ball. There was a play at the end where he passed up a layup to get Nelson a layup, and that's a small thing, but it's a big thing because it was Nelson's only field goal in the game. I don't know if Corey was aware of that, but that's a play that pays dividends as you go forward as a team, and you're trying to remain connected and have a tighter bond. Those kinds of plays matter.
Seemed like you got contributions from all 3 of the big guys. Jalen got in foul trouble, but offered some good minutes, and then Ja'Heim had one of his best games, and LEL did what LEL does most games.
Yeah. Jalen and Ellie got in foul trouble on offensive rebound attempts, and we wanted to go hard to the offensive glass, but a couple of those fouls were silly because we just jumped over the guy's back instead of really moving our feet and really chasing the ball. Ellie doesn't settle for going over guys' back. I mean, he really goes after the ball, and Jalen's gotten better at it too. So some of those fouls were silly. But a great contribution from Ja'Heim. Some critical minutes in the first half, even from Caleb, helped us get a stop, drew a foul, and we had some foul trouble, and he bought us some time there and was ready to play. So good effort all the way around.
Kane has really kind of stepped up here in the last 6 games, 7 games in the stretch. It seems like his role, is he taking his role more serious, or he's just playing better? He seems like a different guy than he was earlier in the year.
Yeah, you know what? I think we've needed some leadership from inside, and Kane is coming into his own as a leader right now. And I think he sees at the end of the road, and he has the appropriate level of urgency right now. And not only is he communicating that, he's also walking that walk. Kane has always said the right things, but it hasn't always matched his actions. And the great thing about him is that he's honest about that. And he's been forthright in front of the team that I got to do better. And it's on me. And you're hearing that from him, but you're also seeing the actions that are consistent with a guy who really wants to win and the team is first. And it is, I do think our improvement right here down the stretch can be directly related to Kane's improvement as a leader. And he and Ellie have now kind of gotten aligned with one another in that regard. And now you see some of it in Corey and Justin, and that's the way it should be.
Hello, Coach. How did the energy of the crowd impact tonight's game? Because it was packed in the JSU Sports Arena tonight.
You know what? One of the things we talk about as a team is being responsible for our own energy. So we want the crowd to feed off us doing the right things instead of us feeding off the crowd, because we don't want to be on that roller coaster. You know, we want to play to a certain standard, and hopefully the crowd will appreciate that. And so, you know, I thought we played with similar energy in the second half that we played with on the road the last couple of games, and our crowd wasn't there. And so we want to be consistent regardless of what the crowd is like, and we want the crowd to feed off us instead of the other way around.
Hey, Coach, it's Marcel. No itinerary questions. I'm not going to ask you how you're going to spend the next 48 hours. No worries there.
Yeah, I'm ready for that too. I was planning.
Oh, well, you can save it for later. But no, seriously, you know, we said a few weeks ago, you don't look at the standings. You don't look where you are in the Sun Belt Conference. But what has led to this improvement in play over this past 2-3 weeks? The winning streak, getting these wins. What's been the turnaround factor for the team, you think, over the past few weeks where you have moved up in the standings?
Well, you know, I think you have to go back to the beginning. You know, we've always known that we've got a good team in that locker room, and we've had some disruptions throughout the course of the year, whether it's injuries or pauses, you know, for health and safety protocols that have kind of disrupted us and our rhythm and our routine from practice games. We've probably played the least amount of games as anyone in the conference. And when you're not playing games because you've paused or whatever, oftentimes you're missing practice time. And so it affects your schedule, and it also affects your rotation. Ellie didn't come back until conference play. Obviously, we know how much impact he has on the team. So I think it's a matter, Marcel, of us finding our footing. You know, maybe it's taken a little bit longer than we wanted it to, but we knew we had a good team, and we had the potential to be really good, and we're just kind of, like I said, finding our footing and coming into our own a little bit at a good time, not the ideal time. We would have liked for this all to come together back in December, but better late than never. And I do think we're improving. We've got a lot to work on, and I do think we have their attention now. So we just got to make the most of this opportunity as coaches.
How do you manage playing? I mean, you got used to it last year because of the schedule, but you play the same team again in 2 days. So what is that challenge about as you face them again on Saturday?
Yeah, it really comes down to maturity. You know, Brady, like, it's going to be a different game. It's not going to be the same plays by the same players. It's not going to be the same flow. And this game is over, and we don't get credit. If you win by 15 points, you don't get to carry those over into the next game. You know, like, it's a new game and a new challenge. And then, you know, I think we've shown that we've got some mettle and some toughness because, to Marcel's question, we've developed a proven ability to fight through adversity. Now we're having some success. And if we're really tough, we're going to be able to handle that. So if we're going to be tough, then we're going to come out on Saturday and we're going to play even harder than we did tonight.
Any other questions?